Well, it's me, UPB here. It's very late, past my bedtime, but my dedication, just unending. My desire to provide you with the most information that I can just overcomes me, and I can't get any sleep. That's why I'm here now. I'd like to bring up my chart here and show you exactly what I think is going to happen tomorrow and beyond. I think today marked a strong reversal. This cascading waterfall that I kept bringing up over and over and over again, this potential that I thought maybe we could see here, it's gone. I think this, don't even think about it anymore. It's over. It's not going to happen. That's what I see. Crazy, isn't it? That's a wild call. But if you want to just go by this cascading waterfall, we did not have a bounce like this. This right here is telling you we're going to paper over this mess sooner than we did here. And hopefully we won't go through this, right? We'll ramp higher. I mean, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but my moving averages are starting to crimp together as they did here. And I think the move is going to be in the opposite direction, higher. Call me crazy, but that's what I see happening. I'm pretty local. I did draw this resistance line here, this trend line. I thought maybe we could drop as far as 120 to 123 on the SPY. Now, I think we've bottomed. Call me crazy. That's at least for the short term. We'll see what happens longer term. We might make a lower high here in the 136, 137 range, which then would set up another fabulous shorting opportunity. Although we had the high and the lower high here and we crashed or collapsed. We did have three instances. We had the high, we had the lower high, and the lower high. We might get a similar kind of scenario, except the two lower highs will be over here, and we'll have the one lower high out here, about 136, 137 on the SPY. That's not out of the question. We got to see exactly what's going on. But for now, who cares about then? If you're trading a weekly option, we're going higher. That's what I'm calling. That's in my book. People could say, oh, maybe we'll go lower. No, we're going higher. This week, we are. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm situated. I'm not playing it big. I got the LVS calls, USO calls. And what am I looking to get into now? What are we going to play? Hopefully, since we know we're going up, right? Hopefully the market's down tomorrow. Not so much. Just a nice little fade. And the US dollar is down. We're going to look for some commodity stocks. We're going to look at FCX. Some of you might call me a bull. I'm not a bull. I'm a bear. Look, I drew this chart months and months and months ago. And this is FCX. Look at this head and shoulders pattern. I drew this here before it even started. And look how it's formed. It's just come to fruition almost. The neckline's down here. FCX looks like, according to the chart I drew, it's going to hit 27.20 and break it. And look, we can go all the way down to $7 and change. That's possible. And I remember down here, FCX was at 17. Notice the chart says it's like 8 something. They did a 2-for-1 forward split when the Fed was ramping everything. So this was formerly a $120 stock back in 2007. Collapsed. And they pulled their dividend down here. It was a nightmare. Everyone thought it was going to zero. Meanwhile, that was the time to be piling in. Selling the house or refinancing it. Taking a 17th mortgage that if you don't pay it back, the government will just, forgive. That's what you could have been doing back then instead of buying flat screen TVs. So, point being, I think FCS, it's not going to go straight down. It's going to have a bounce in it. Could bring us back to 37. And I'll be looking at the $33 calls, which I think still are pretty cheap. They closed at a bid 37, ask 38. We get a nice 3-4% ramp out of FCX this week. You're looking at least a double. So we'll be looking at the dollar, which is down marginally right now, pretty much flat. Futures are up a tenth of a percent. We'll see. Hopefully they'll open even or modestly lower, maybe a tenth of a percent down. Can't be up all the time. And I might look into getting some cat calls. I highlighted these in my weekend outlook. The 9250s. They were going for 48 cents. Let me get cat up here just so you can see what I was talking about. Get a little closer view here. This is the 5-year chart. And I was saying we could be putting in some head and shoulder. No, for now, we don't care about that. What we do care about is, yes, we're about to break a nice moving average here. This is the 100-day moving average. 9250 sits just above it. Those calls were at 48 cents. They close at $1.08. Caterpillars, we're getting some nice crosses here. If we can break above these moving averages, we've already broken above these two. We break above the 100-day moving average. We can definitely see some momentum heading through this week, which should take us to at least $95, making these 9250s I highlighted this weekend for 48 cents a 5-bagger at least. If they go into money, you're looking at a 5-bagger. That would be 10 calls at 48 cents for 480 being sold for at least $2,500, $480 into $25. But it hasn't come to fruition yet. And even now, if you were to buy the 9250s, they're going for $1, and you bought 4 of them. Well, let's just say 2, because we don't like to buy any more than $500 worth. At least I don't do. I don't like to. That'd be $400. And if we go into money and we go to say 97, there'll be $2 in the money, and you'll have doubled your money at least, assuming it's right near options expiration. If it does it by Wednesday, you're getting some premium built in, and you're going to be making even more money. Mo money, mo money, mo money. I have my LVS calls. I have my USO. I am not dropping USO. I am holding on to that for dear life. Look at this. Now, if we get the nice curl here from the moving averages, we break above. I'm telling you, I could see 36.10, 36.15, 36.20, 36.50. So my calls I got for 35 cents for the 35 strike could be worth upwards of $1.80 each. That's $350 into $1,800. But we'll see what happens. I think it's USO. Oil has formed a meaningful low and will move higher from here. But I'll be proven right when it actually happens. And those calling for Apple to fall tomorrow, I think they'll be wrong. We will come up to this resistance line here. It was support, and I think that's what, 566, which is a good $5 from the close, but we were at 564 after hours. Don't be fooled. Apple has fallen dramatically, and I think a push to 600 this week is a distinct possibility. And it's good that there's people out there saying it's not going to happen. When people say stocks are going to go down and they short it and they think it's garbage, that's the time to be buying. That's the way this market works. We don't care if Apple deserves to be a $300 stock and we're buying the calls. All we care about is what we see, what we know. And we know when people are bearish on stocks in this market, with the central banks printing money to infinity and beyond, that a stock like Apple is to be bought when it has momentum behind it. And the bears are still piling on their shorts. My last trade for tomorrow is IBM. I think this is going to be a great trade this week. And we have a similar scenario, and we hit some massive support. A 5-year support line down here we bounced off of this morning. This morning. We're going to move higher with Apple, yes, Apple and IBM. I can see IBM trading upwards of 201, $202 a share this week, which would make these $70 cent, $200 calls be almost 1.5 times your money, to be a nice return. And just as I type, futures are taking another leap forward. Oh, and I just wanted to point out Apple again for those who missed my earlier video. Apple also hit the nice channel I brought across. Look at this. That's why I leave all my drawings up. I try to. I drew this channel the other day, and it just it got stuck in his channel today. It was like, oh, stuck in his channel again, and then it broke out of it. I mean, that in itself, you have the channel up, was something that brought the stock lower when it consolidated in that channel, and then when it got stuck in it again, boom, consolidated it, and then just shot higher. So that's what I like about the Thinkorswim. I draw whatever I want. I put happy faces, smiley faces, upside down hangmen. You know, have a lot of fun with them. And then when I go back at them, I just look at them and they're still there. So, all right, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover tonight. If there's anything else, I'll post it in the chat room. Have yourselves a wonderful night. I'm going to go to sleep and hopefully get enough rest to make some sane decisions tomorrow. Goodbye. UPB from OptionMillionaires.com saying so long, good night.